Welcome to Into the Mind of a Madman. You are now rocking with me, the Madman, and today we got to talk about the Meg the Stallion and Tory Lanez shooting situation. Uh, I don't really like the coverage that's going on with it. You know, a lot of people, I'm not even gonna say people. I'm gonna say a lot of black men. I'm not really feeling your vibe toward this whole situation. And I'm not saying that you don't have a right to stand on whatever side you stand on. It's just to me, we're not coming with a enough knowledge to where you standing on it from. It's more so taken from a perspective of just how you feel toward men or women. You know what I'm saying? Whether you just believing in a man because you're a man, or you're not believing in women because you're a man, and I'm not really feeling that. You know what I'm saying? So me as a black man, as a man who's handled guns, as a man who has been through training to handle guns, as a man who loves black women, I kind of just got to speak on it from just the handling as a black man, handling a woman and handling a gun. So unlike others that I seen, I'm gonna give you my perspective on it from that particular angle. So I must start off by saying or asking a particular question. And this is to anybody who handles guns or doesn't handle guns, and just have somewhat of understanding or fear or whatever. I don't know what to tell you. Just a perspective on guns. So my I must start off by saying, if anybody was handling a gun, right? I'm asking you as a question. If anybody was handling a gun and they were handling it in a way where you looked and said, "Oh, yo, chill, put the gun down. You not looking too responsible with how you're handling a gun." That gun then goes off. And that bullet comes out, whether it hits a wall, whether it hits the floor, whether it hits the ceiling, whether it hits a building, wherever you're at, the bullet winds up hitting you somehow, whether through ricochet or direct hit. Could you say you shot me? That's where I want to start off at. Because a lot of people are missing the point of a man, in my opinion, handled a gun. No matter if he grabbed it from a woman or he took it out himself, however he got it, he handled the gun. He then, while in his possession, the gun being in his possession, the gun went off. Whether he directed the gun at Meg or not, whether the bullet ricocheted off the building, a house, the floor, a gate, I don't care what it was. If she ends up getting hit in the foot, to me, she has the right to say, "You shot me." As you have the right to say, "You shot me," because the way you handled the gun while it was in your possession, the gun went off and now the bullet hit me. Let's start there. Now, well, we started there. Now let's progress the conversation. The second thing I want to get to, or now that I'm established that no matter what, if he's in possession of the gun while it goes off and it hit, she has the right to say that, right? Now I want to get to the I'm not gonna say a confession, right? Because I don't. I'm not here to even sway anybody either way. I'm just here to talk about it in a way so we can really get an understanding of what's going on, right? I want to talk about the conversation, the phone recording that Tory had with Kelsey when he's calling saying, "I'm sorry. I was so drunk. I didn't know. I didn't know what happened. I didn't. I'm not aware." Right now, by that conversation, like I said, I'm not here to say he even did it off that. Right? It is my belief, but that's not where I want to go with the conversation. By that conversation, I'm simply going to state he is unaware of what happened. He was so intoxicated and not in the moment that he, by his own admission, is unaware of what's transpired at that moment. Right? He's saying, "I'm sorry," whether he's sorry for the situation, he's sorry for acting away, he's sorry for putting her in a position, he's sorry for sleeping with Meg and then it comes out in the car. Whatever he's sorry for, he's sorry for. That's on him. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to simply say he said he was too drunk to know what happened. I don't even remember what happened of how it went down. Right? So let's take that and place it here. Now, I'm of the belief, and because I wasn't told this personally, but I heard Joe Button say it, I heard DJ Academic say it, and I feel like I might have heard McGraw Grove say it. Pardon me if I'm not saying your name right. Now, I believe Tory's story to his friends was, yo, Kelsey shot the gun, or she grabbed the gun, or whatever happened. I grabbed it from her, and I tried to shoot it, all the bullets off, so she couldn't use it toward Meg. Like that was my preventative measure for me to grab the gun from her and then shoot it, waste all the bullets, so she couldn't then grab it and use it. Now, again, I must bring up my gun training. And not even more so gun training. Any training. Is anybody out there who played sports? Is there anybody who out here who did anything consistently? I'm of the belief, and if you are in sports, you know this. You practice. How you practice is how you're gonna perform, right? I don't know if Tory has any gun training, any disarm training, any safety training involving protection, like as in security. But I'm going to say if he hasn't trained and put himself in position of, yo, when there is a gun present, this is how I'm going to move. This is how I'm going to react. Whether it is you're in the street and you are living the street life and you just think about it every day, or you're walking to your car as a woman, and or you're walking to your doorstep, and you know some women have their key out, so if a intruder runs up on them, they can stab them with the key. That's what training does. Training prepare you for moments where your brain shuts down, your adrenaline kicks in, and your natural instincts take over. Training for any particular thing makes makes whatever you're training for become your natural movement. So we all heard about fight or flight, right? Whether is something happens, you either gonna fight it head on or you're gonna take flight. It's just natural instincts. So again, my position is if Tory did not have any type of security training, or he did not train himself even to say, yo, whenever there's a gun present, I'm with my lady, or I'm with whoever, I'm going to be the one to disarm the man and and take whatever necessary risk to make this situation safe, right? If you cannot train yourself like that sober, there is no possible way that you do that drunk, do that intoxicated, do that under the influence of anything. Because that would not be your natural reflex. I doubt that under the influence, his natural reflex, because he's trained so much that his body will just take over, even though he's not in his right mind, that he's going to grab the gun from Kelsey, shoot it off so she wouldn't use it. I don't think that. To me, that comes off as either you train for that, or while everybody else is drunk and you are sober, that you then do that. That is a sober decision. Now, can you not train for that and see that somebody is being erratic with a gun, and your sober mind compared to their intoxicated mind or enraged mind, can you make that decision? Yes. But as a drunk person, admittedly, like I said, that he was so under he was so under the influence that he doesn't remember what happened by his words. I just doubt that his natural course of action would be to do that. Now, again, bring it back to my gun training. Bring it back to anybody out there's gun training. We understand there are only two ways to handle a gun. One wrong, one right. The right way to handle any gun in the world, whether it is loaded or unloaded, is to act like it is loaded at all times. So from me having taken, even if I'm showing off a gun, I am to act like it is loaded. When I grab the gun, make sure I'm clearing the gun, make sure it's unloaded. If I hand the gun off to another person, even though I know I'm handing them an empty gun, that person, if they have proper training, they then grab the gun, check it to make sure it's unloaded, because you always act like the gun is loaded. You never point even the empty gun in anybody's direction, because there's the proper way to handle guns responsibly. Any other thing than that is being reckless. Anybody from, if you haven't had any firearms training, if you ever been around a gun, I'm talking to the people who haven't had firearms training. If you haven't been around if you haven't had firearms training, if you're around somebody with a gun, right? They take out a gun. They start moving it in a way that it may appear to be coming in your direction. your first reaction would be like, hey, yo, hey, watch where you point the gun. Whether they telling you it's unloaded or not, your natural reaction will be, hey, yo, see what I'm saying? So I'm not just talking to people who have firearms training, but as a person who has firearm training, as a person who's had a job carrying a firearm as an armed guard, who I had to take training courses and pass tests and written tests and shooting tests and all of that, and know somewhat of the law of how to discharge my gun so I won't go to jail and all of that. Like, I have some sense of the law of when to discharge your firearm and all that, what's acceptable and not. Like I said, it's only one way to handle it. There's only one way to handle a gun. Anything other than that is being reckless. So the story goes on, right? So now we established that Tory himself, well, we established that handling a gun any other way than respectful and making sure you are never pointing especially a loaded gun in anybody's direction. A empty gun when you trying to listen to the let me hold on. Let me back up because I feel like I don't want this video to be long, but I really gotta stress certain points so y'all could really understand it from my point of view. Even if you go to a gun shop to buy a gun and you go, let me see that gun, or you're holding your friend's gun or whatever, even, like I said, loaded or unloaded, but especially loaded. But you treating the gun, even the gun is unloaded, you still treat it like it's loaded. That's the only way to properly handle the gun, right? Even if you bring the gun up to want to see the sights and all of that, to see how it feels, if you want to pull the trigger, just feel how many pounds of pressure, and they be like, oh, it got a head trigger, or you got to use a certain amount of pressure. Even if you want to do all of that to an empty gun, always point it in a direction to where it will not harm anybody. And understand, Full Metal Jacket bullets go through walls and all of that. So certain type of bullets can go through walls. So if you are handling a weapon, I'm saying that for this reason. If you are handling a weapon that is loaded and the particular ammo in it can go through a wall or something like that, if you're in your house, please don't, even if you're in your house, don't point it somewhere in another direction to where it can go out your house and into somebody else's house. You get what I'm saying? I'm saying that to say that. Like, don't feel safe because you're in your house and pointing it in a direction where you know, everybody's over here, so I'm gonna point it this way. But if you point it that way and it's going into another person's house and that gun goes off and it goes out of your house into, you see what I'm saying? Like, you gotta know these things when you're handling guns. One of the rules of disarming, discharging a weapon is, far as an armed guard, right? Is, say I'm the person, my target is here, right in front of me. I have to know what's in back of my target to know if I should shoot or not, because if I happen to miss my target, I can hit whoever is in back and around my target. See what I'm saying? So I even have to make that decision. So like I said, I'm not one to put the gun in Tory's hands, right? Let's so like I said, we established the proper way to handle guns. We established if you recklessly handle a gun at any point in time, and that gun goes off, a person can say, you shot me. Even if by accident. If you shoot your friend in the foot while y'all in the house handling the gun recklessly and the gun goes off, and you pulling the trigger or whatever, and the gun goes off, they go, yo, you just shot me, bro. You can say that. So I'm not mad at Meg saying Tory shot me. If Tory is outside by the eyewitnesses account, the guy in from his house, he seen a man waving the gun around recklessly, cursing, letting the gun off. If one of them bullets happened to directly while he was going like this, and he went this way and he shot down, or it went off down, I'm gonna say he shot because I don't believe in bullets misfiring. You know what I'm saying? People pull the trigger and bullets come out the gun. So whether it ricocheted off the ground and hit Meg, or it directly hit her, or whatever, him being reckless, he shot her. Point blank, period. Even though this ain't even the trial part. This ain't got nothing to do with his conviction. Like I said, he wasn't even convicted for shooting her. He was convicted for recklessly letting off the gun. And I told this to a friend, like, before that charge even happened, because it was, if you look back, he didn't get hit with that charge it was almost time to go to court. And my whole thing was to that friend was, somebody let off a gun, either him or Kelsey, right? Let off a gun recklessly. If you let off a gun without properly having somebody to target with that gun, it is reckless endangerment in most states. I know it's like that in North Carolina. I cannot right now go outside and shoot my gun in any direction, in the air, on the ground, right, left, straight. I cannot and not get a charge for reckless endangerment while using a firearm or using a deadly weapon. Now, if I'm shooting at a target because this target is trying to kill me, or say you're out here hunting or something like that, then no, you can't get in trouble for that. Well, that will be the course to decide if you're shooting at a person. But what I'm saying is you're hunting or whatever. But there will be a charge. I told this to my friend. There will be a charge. I told her I'm waiting on the charge of reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon, because somebody shot somebody in a residential area. A gun went off. Somebody shot the gun, and somebody got to be charged with that. That was my whole position. But anyway, the Lion on Gayle King, because this is the new story up right now, and this is why I'm making this, because I'm just tired. It's just so draining at this point, right? Who cares she lied, bro? Nobody cares she lied on Gayle King. She told the truth on the stand. Who cares she lied that she slept with him? There are many domestic abuse cases in the world. We know this. Somebody sleeping with somebody doesn't warrant them to be shot, doesn't warrant them to be stabbed, doesn't warrant them to be pushed, choked, slapped, anything. Killed, harmed, manged. Y'all really holding this? If he slept with her or at any point and she lied about it or she didn't lie about it, what does that matter? Y'all really like y'all want him to get off because they slept together? What about all the domestic abuse in the world that happens between husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend, girlfriend and girlfriend, boyfriend and boyfriend? They say, I mean, this is what I heard on these podcasts that, listen, I ain't even gonna go into that because that ain't even relevant right now. That's not relevant. All I'm saying to you is we have to stop harping on, well, she lied about sleeping with him, then that means she would lie about him shooting her. Let's talk about Kelsey. Before we get to Kelsey, I want to talk about the man from the house. I believe the man from the house, whether he talked to Rock Nation or not. I believe the man from the house. That's my point of view, right? My perspective is, I believe the man, like the man said, Kelsey grabbed the gun out the back seat out of the bag, right? Or whatever. They were fighting or whatever. Kelsey goes to grab the gun because it was her bag or whatever, right? She shoots at Meg. She misses Meg. She still shot at Meg. The gun residue is on her too, right? I believe Tory. I believe he did grab the gun from her. I do not believe in his drunken mind that he grabbed the gun and discharged it in a way where it wouldn't have ricocheted, or there was a ricochet to hit Meg by mistake. I believe the man in the mirror, in the house on the balcony, I believe he grabbed the gun with him being enraged, with him being drunk, with him being mad that these two girls is fighting, with him just being tired of the whole situation because he was about to sleep with whoever he was going to sleep with. Dad got interrupted and dealing with these girls and everybody fighting and all of this chaos. I believe his anger, which Tory has been proven to have anger issues, right? I'm saying from the other people he's been engaged with, far as the August Alcinas and certain people, right? I believe he grabs the gun and, like the man from the balcony said, he just started waving the gun around, cursing and letting it off. I don't believe he grabbed the gun from Kelsey. And like I said, I believe she shot at Meg first, but she didn't hit her. I believe he grabbed the gun from her. I don't think he introduced the gun. I believe he grabbed it and he started recklessly shooting around, and it may have bounced off the floor or whatever, and it hit Meg. And in that, everybody looked and was like, oh, yo, you just shot Meg. I believe they all said that. I believe that's why the driver didn't say anything. Understand, the driver's story, and we got to stop acting like the driver's story is this new information. The driver came at the last minute. Remember, everybody was looking for the driver for 2 years. Not that we were looking for him. We were just saying, yo, where's the driver? Oh, we seen Kelsey get talked to in an investigation. Tory's in jail. I forgot if he was granted bond or whatever. I forgot. I can't remember. But remember, if you look back on all the podcasts, and there was like, yo, where the driver at? Where the driver at? Where the driver at? Remember, he came like a week before the trial was almost over. Right before Christmas, right? And then they wanted to talk to him or whatever. Now, and everybody was like, yo, where's the driver? Where's the driver? And now his story is he recounts everything, but when the actual gun was grabbed and got let off, his back was turned. So how is the driver going to help Tory? Tory didn't help Tory. The driver didn't help Tory. Kelsey put the gun in Tory's hands at first, initially. She then changed her story and tried to change it. And then when she got on the stand, remember the lawyer said they had her under duress, and then they played when they didn't have her under arrest because now you introduced it and all. Listen, I remember the case a little bit. I remember how the trial went. So her testimony is Kelsey's testimony is Tory shot her. Don't get it twisted. The driver said his back was turned. Meg's story is Tory shot me. So there are two people out of the four people who say, now, you shot her out of the people who was involved, I'm saying. Then the kicker to the whole situation, an independent witness who's not a part of the group said he seen a little man shooting off the gun recklessly. And now, like I said, he was not charged with actually shooting Meg. He was charged and found convicted of recklessly discharging a weapon and some other stuff. And like I said, he didn't defend himself. I do not believe there's a street code to why he didn't defend himself. I believe Tory didn't defend himself because his other behaviors and other situations of him like going to fight other people that is on the internet would have been brought into a question, and I don't believe he would have been a good witness simply because by his testimony on that phone, he was too drunk to remember. Remember, that got played in court. Forget the I'm sorry. Hey, you don't gotta apologize to Meg. You could have, like I said, you could have apologized to Kelsey. The I'm sorry, he didn't say I'm sorry for shooting somebody. No, he didn't say that. Let's keep it at he's only apologizing to Kelsey for even putting her in position that he did. Because you know what? I was messing with you, and then I did sleep with your friend, and then I did try to sleep with this other girl, and then this old thing went out of control, and I didn't try to shut the situation up while I was in the front seat. I just let y'all talk it out and start yelling and bickering or whatever, right? He could have been sorry for a million things. I'm cool with that. But by his words, he was too drunk to know what went on. So how could he then get on after playing that tape? How do you get on stand and defend yourself? No street code rules needed. Now you can say, hey, you know what? I sobered up. I kind of understand some things that went on, boom, boom, boom. But you think that's going to go well for him? If he says, you know what, now that I'm sober, I do remember this, I did do this and I did do that. That's not going to go well for him. And I'm not talking about street rules. I'm talking about in the court of law. Because now you're not a credible witness for yourself because you already established that you don't remember, and you establishing you're doing something while being under the influence. And that's never going to play well. That never plays well in court. And you cannot go and sit yourself on anybody's stand and say, I was under the influence of this drug and this alcohol and this whatever. And then say you're a credible witness. It's not how it works. It's not a street code thing. It's not a man versus woman thing. It's not a black man versus black woman thing. It is a man who got drunk, got angry. Somebody pulled out a gun. He grabs the gun. He's reckless with the gun. And when one of them bullets went off, the bullet hit the girl in the foot, or fragment in the foot, or the bullet didn't hit her in the foot and it hit a piece of cement and the cement went into her foot. But the medical examiner said she had bullet fragments in her foot. So that's that. Y'all gotta stop adding because you like his music. You gotta stop adding because we can't just believe women and it's an attack on the black man. Let's leave all that alone. Let's deal with what it is. Let's deal with what it is, please. This is my piece, and that's all I got for you. Yo, get some anger management. Get never handle a gun when you're drunk. Never domestic violence, all these things. Let's do better, y'all. I love you. I'm out.